Hey guys, welcome back to another video of the F1 Esports 2025 Championship. This is round 10, I believe, and we are now in Brazil. So today is the day where we're going to have two tracks, Brazil and Qatar, and very good tracks for us. And as you guys, or most of you guys hopefully should know by now, that Brazil definitely my favorite track, both in terms of performance, so probably my best track of the whole calendar, and in terms of just pure enjoyment. I just love driving this track, whether it be in the dry or in the wet. It's just always so satisfying for me when you put a lap together. And we are now on board for my lap in Q1, and straight away it looks like the lap looking very clean, and we have so much pace that hopefully we don't have to push too much to pass on to Q2 and Q3 relatively easily. And thankfully at the start of the session we checked the weather forecast and there was no rain expected, thankfully, which was a good thing to see, because in the wet you never know what can happen in terms of the conditions, or you just have to maybe get lucky at the right time, and yeah, sometimes it can just easily go wrong. As we do a 0.40, which is relatively good lap, start of the session as well. So we finished the session P4, Barry in P13. Unfortunately, I do not remember who goes out in Q1, but I don't think anyone in particular that is very important to us. Maybe actually a Mercedes driver could be. I only saw Danny there in P12 or in the top 15, so maybe the other Mercedes driver didn't make it onto Q2. Nonetheless, this is my first run in Q2 with the used tire, so this is the same tire that I did my Q1 lap with, and we don't expect this to be enough. But anyway, we go P1 with a 0.37, which is actually even faster than my Q1 run, so you can see the pace is extremely strong right now. But we skip onto the third lap of Q2. We did the first lap on the new tires was relatively clean, but as you can see here, we went out again because we can. We saved the tire in Q1, but turn 1 and 2 was not good at all, as we are half a tenth down now. Not something you want to see, as we missed the apex there, somehow kept it on track, didn't get invalidation there, so it must have been really close, and we were almost a tenth red at that point, as we use a little bit more ERS to try and catch up the time. But yeah, being a tenth down in Brazil is a lot, so hopefully we can maybe gain it back and improve by a few hundredths, which is always super important in a track like this where the gaps are so close. And we are now on the green, barely improving on our lap time, eating the inside curb of the last corner, and we do improve our lap by a few hundredths. We should still be through either way with the first lap that we've set, but this just solidifies it a little bit more and makes sure that we are through anyway. 0.22, I believe. So yeah, P4 and P5 for me and Barry. Isma, Alvaro out in Q2, and look at that. One of the Mercedes is out in Q2, sorry, so they didn't go out in Q1. Jake didn't make it through to Q3, so that's good news for us. But as you see, the Red Bulls are P1 and P3 there in Q2, so both of them are through, and we are still quite a few amount of points behind, so yeah, and not nice to see both Red Bulls make it, obviously, but it is what it is. The competition is super fierce and fast, so can't expect anything else from them. As we're now on to our last lap in Q3, managed Sector 1 relatively well. We are now up by 400ths of a second, which doesn't sound like a lot, yeah, I know, but trust me, it is. We do a 1-0 first, which actually is not really good. Again, miss the inside apex there, which you're supposed to eat it. So we do definitely leave 50 or 60 on the table there for sure. Again, have a little bit of a snap here, not ideal to carry enough speed. Apex again not fully hit, so the lap is just not looking that great, to be honest. Actually, for my standards at least, on this track, it was very poor, and I was not satisfied at all with this lap. But anyway, we are 130 up now with a 2.8 split, very slow split. We do a really good last corner though, and we are now up by 160, and see where it puts us. It is close to pole. Pole is a 1.3 at the moment. 1.2, the gaps are so tight, and we do a 1.37, and we are P4 at the moment. But as you're gonna see, we dropped down to P7. Look at those gaps to P1 from myself. I mean, the lap was so bad, and to see the gap being that tight is just, yeah, it was not nice to see. Barry, unfortunately, in P10, I think he made a mistake on his lap, or maybe invalidated. I think he invalidated, actually, if I remember correctly. Yeah, the Red Bull is a 3-4, and luckily for us, Jake didn't get too good of a quali as well, starting on P8. Right behind me, so hopefully we can keep him behind. But we now load into the race, and look at that weather forecast. I mean, it's just wet to dry to wet to dry. This might be a 3 or a 4 stop race. I am not even joking, and we shall see what happens with the weather. But we decide to go for a wet setup, so hopefully we'll be fast in the rain, but a little bit slower in the dry. But it looked like it was going to rain most of the race anyway, so we wanted to take advantage of that more. Oh yeah, remember I did qualify P7, but I am starting P10 because I did block someone in qualifying, unfortunately. So I did get a 3-place penalty. I just remember now, actually. That's not very nice. So yeah, we are starting P10 behind our teammate Barry, and yeah, when it rains. So once again, this is a rainy race, and I'm behind Barry, so that means the first car will be favored, and he will get the calls, and the better strategy calls, at least, hoping that it would be for himself. So yeah, this is not a really good position to be in now, and I wasn't feeling too good. If the race was fully dry, I genuinely think I could have fought for the podium for sure, even if I started P10. Like, I felt so comfortable in this track in general, so no matter what strategy I kind of did, I was going to be in a good position to fight for good points. But the fact that it's wet, it just makes it impossible to overtake, like literally impossible. I think we're going to skip onto lap 9, I believe, after this, because nothing happens. And lap 9 is where it's starting to dry up, and you guys are going to see now, we're actually on lap 10. It stopped raining, and I believe this is the time to pit. A few people already have pitted in front of me, I believe, onto the dries the lap before. But I thought it was a little bit too early. Yeah, as DRS is enabled now, so the perfect lap to pit, theoretically speaking, is right now. That is when the crossover is, usually when the DRS gets activated or disabled. That's a very good indication that the conditions are changing over. So yeah, I have to do an extra lap on these inter tires, which will be scorching hot at this point, because when you drive on the inters when it's not raining, they overheat so much, and you have so much tire wear, and you start sliding everywhere. So we're gonna stay on board with this lap, because actually I believe I drove a really good in lap. I was super happy with how I managed the grip here. As we look at the gap to Thomas, it's going down quite a lot. That means I'm having a really good in lap here. And Joris Krozen, who actually I think started P2, crazy qualifying by him, is in a good position this race, and he's at the top, fighting with the top. So good stuff from him. He also went an extra lap, which I'm not too sure why, because he was the first Haas. So also Thomas, I don't understand why he went an extra lap. But anyway, we will be ending the lap now. We go purple both sectors, because yeah, it's the track is drying up so quickly. But this felt like a really good lap. I don't think I could have gained much more, to be honest, if anything. So let's see where I'm gonna come out in the pits. Manage the braking point, which we do really good entry, and some people behind me maybe have sped. It looked like Alfie was coming in a bit hot and a bit sideways into the pit lane. But yeah, let's have a look where we're gonna come out now. We will be the first ones with the fresher tire, I guess. So we're gonna have one lap fresher, but it's not that big of a deal. The pit exit will still be a little bit wet, I believe, so it's really crucial to not overdrive. But as you can see, Barry is to my right now, and we actually pulled off the overcut. Somehow we end up in front of him. Not too sure how that was possible. Maybe he had a little bit of a slower pit entry and a little bit of a cautious out lap or something, but yeah, I really nailed that in lap there, and the pit exit as well. So crazy. Now we are the lead. We're the lead car now, but even so, Barry's in the championship fight, so we're gonna most likely gonna give him favorable strategy decisions anyway. So yeah, not the best place still to be in P9, but it's gonna rain again, and we just don't know when. So if I can make a move, maybe on Tamas Gal here, down into turn 1, when he least expects it, down the inside, really good dive bomb. We don't make any contact. He pushes me a little bit wide on the exit. I get a warning, but it shouldn't matter. We get the position cleanly and fairly, and that was just a really good racing there. As we are now aim our sights onto Josh Irowu. I can see that I have really good pace at this point, and maybe it's my setup, the fact that I have higher wings. It makes me really good in the corners, and I'm super close following the car ahead. And as you can see here, I'm gonna go down the inside, but I don't really make the move, and I don't even plan to make the move. I just wanted him to be further away from the car ahead, so he has less slipstream, and we can do a drag race into turn 1. But as you can see, yeah, my wing is higher, you can tell, because he's just pulling away just a little bit on the straight. But we still get the inside for the next corner. We don't make any contact, side by side. A little bit of contact there. He does give me space, and we give each other space, and I have the inside now onto turn 4. That was really good battling. So we are making progress. We are now up to P7, behind Joris Krozen, who's now P6. He's falling down a little bit, I guess. Struggling a bit with the crazy strategy here, but people are starting to pit onto the inters here, and that was the lap to pit. Again, we gave that to Barry. In hindsight, it was actually maybe not the best lap to pit, as you guys will see in a bit, but in the moment that was the right decision, so we pitted him. Hopefully he was going to get a good undercut on us and pass some people up ahead. Thomas is in front of us with the soft, and Thomas was actually fighting for the win, so being right behind him is a really good sign. But I'm not sure why he put the softs, because I think he's struggling quite a lot now with grip. But yeah, Jarno is in net P1 at the moment. I think he didn't pit because Freddy was ahead, so again, first car ahead gets the priority. And yeah, hopefully we can salvage something out of this. I think we are losing quite a bit of time to the cars behind onto the inters, but we shall see once again where we're gonna come out, as we have Isma right behind us as well, who is in the championship fight. So if we can keep it behind, that's always good for Barry. And yeah, on to the inters we go, and we have to make sure we actually stop for the pit entry here, as we get really close to Thomas. I mean, I think I've genuinely been like cooking in the pit entries this season. I've had very good pit entries. If one of the best ones I've had was Silverstone. If you guys haven't watched Silverstone, you should go and check it out. That pit entry really changed my whole race, and it was thanks to that I could fight for the win and for the podium. So that was absolutely mental. But this is very close as well. I almost got to the back of Thomas, but I think that is the reason why we are now going to be ahead of Josh. I mean, if I only had a few tenths slower pit entry, I would be behind Josh. So again, we somehow overcut Barry. We didn't really understand what was going on at this point, but what was in our minds was the tire wear. There was going to be, it's such a high tire wear right now with the inters, and there's 13 laps to go. Like, we're not going to make it. Some people pitted now even. They went an extra lap longer thinking of that, like Alfie, for example. But yeah, Isma is right behind us now, and I was saving tires like a madman. I didn't want to push them. I wanted to be able to make it to the end, and maybe that was the mistake that I did, because now Isma was all over me and he went for a move down the inside of turn 1. I'm not sure why Joris defended the inside there. I was nowhere near Joris for a move. So he blocked me, and Isma got past relatively easily. So that was a bit annoying. I definitely could have kept that position 100%. So it sucks to see these kind of little mistakes that you make in the moment that you don't even realize can cost so much. But yeah, I could have probably kept the position to Isma there. They still go side by side, so maybe we can find a way back through and maybe even get past Joris at the same time. That would be very good, but I know that some people in front of us are not saving tires, and if you're not saving the tire like Barry was, like Barry wasn't either, you're not going to make it to the end of the race. And if you see at the minimap, Barry is all the way at the back. That is because he already pitted again. So he's done a 3, I don't remember, I've lost count now how many stops we've done. I think that's his 3rd stop, and he's onto the dry tires for, or actually I'm not sure if he's on the dry tires, just on new inters, and he's catching a lot. Alvaro now, I run out of VRS basically. Again, yours defends the inside, blocks me, and Alvaro goes around the outside. And yeah, another mistake. Not too sure what was going on for those 2 laps. I don't know why. I think I was thinking way too much about the tire rather than my position, and I was just so scared that I wasn't going to make it to the end of the race. As Joris Krozen now, as you can see, is now pitting at lap 29 because he was already in the danger zone of punctures, and he couldn't make it to the end. He just had no more tires, and Alfie here on 1 lap fresher tires is gonna go around the outside, maybe into turn 2. He gets the inside, does push me wide. He loses the car and breaks my front wing, so I have a front wing damage now. It's not enormous, but it's still very noticeable. And yeah, that was not a penalty somehow. I'm not sure what was going on with the stewarding, but yeah, I've got a penalty for way less than that, and he lost control of the car, and I got wing damage. So yeah, and now I'm struggling a lot to defend from Joni Tormala now, who's trying to pass me as we go down the inside once again, side by side, hitting the curb and losing the car a bit, but side by side down the hill here, very sketchy. And he then puts me onto the grass. Yeah, and we lose the place. I mean, there's nothing I can do genuinely. Now there's Danny up my inside. It was just domino effect. It was one after the other. It just sucks to see how much better of a result I could have gotten with just two or three different little things, even just from the Isma thing. Look how far up Isma is now. He's yeah, way further up the road. I think he's actually in front of that Merc as well. So yeah, we will probably finish the place this race in this place in P10. There's still some fighting up in front of us. So maybe if people make a mistake or something happens, there's actually Otis Lawrence goes wide, hits the grass, and we get a position just at the end. So 2 points instead of 1. Nothing crazy. We finished P9. It could have been so much more. I guess the penalty at the start of the race with the grid penalty of 3 places didn't help either. I'm sure I would have been way further up. Look at Isma, he's P4, and I was right behind Thomas as well. Yeah, it sucks to see. And yeah, I guess I should have pushed the tire more. Everyone made it to the end, or most people made it to the end anyway. And even though I was close to puncture territory, I definitely think I could have pushed a bit more and defended a bit harder for sure to keep a place. So yeah, we do gain points on Mercedes once again. I believe just a few, very few, like 1 point or 2. Red Bull finishing 1-2, not good for us. That means they're so far up the road now, almost uncatchable with 2 races to go, but we'll try it our best. Next race is Qatar. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.